Sane in Colombia channel. Oh, time for a haircut. It's going to be a bit different today, but everything's always different on this channel. Um, I'll sort of indirectly talk about AI, but this is a product that I'm rolling out, and this is going to be for sale. But I'm also looking for a couple more beta testers. I expect this product will be ready to go out for sale by probably March 30th, so in a couple weeks. I've been working on it for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I know a few of my close friends or friends, I've been driving crazy because I was all excited and I kept sending them stuff. You know, it's like, well, take a look at this, take a look at that. Well, people have busy lives, and I know it was annoying. And I'll apologize to you publicly, although no one said anything. Everybody was very gracious about it. But it finally is to the point where it is ready for beta testing. I have one or two people actually doing it. They haven't told me yet, but where they are in it, but they said that they would beta test. So today, what I'm going to do is show you the program because it's almost ready for sale. And from it, we'll be building different modules. It'll be English and Spanish at some point. Currently, what it produces is English or Spanish, your choice. But all the instructions, the interface will soon be bilingual. So I'm going to show you the program, but I'm going to go through what it takes me to create a live program. And then you will see why I decided I wanted to create an AI agent, which is what my program is. So, how do you take, on average, 5 hours worth of work for one live program and reduce it down to under half an hour? That's what I've done. And it's pretty exciting. So I'm going to walk us through it, and I'm open for suggestions. I don't expect many people are going to be watching this live, but it's the best way for me to record it. So I'm going to do this live, but over the next few days, take a look at it. If you're interested in being a beta tester, let me know. That would have to be somebody that I actually know. So if I know you, through Coffee Time Live or through Sane in Colombia, if we've interacted before, if we've emailed before, then, let's see about it. There is an advantage if you beta test it. If this is something that you want and use, you will receive not only the first real copy free of charge, but updates as they go, you'll receive those free of charge. You'll never have to pay for the program, at least as long as I own it. There is a possibility, I've already been approached, there's possibility some company may buy it. I don't know. That's pipe dream talk at the moment. So, where we start. All right, let's take a look at the program itself. Okay, this is what it's going to look like, at least for now. This is the scheme I came up with. It could have been dark, it could have been light. I wasn't sure. So we just went with this. And we've got different categories here, tabs. I'm going to explain some of these in detail. But first, let me show you why I felt this was important at all. Let's see here. This is the process that I have to go through when I'm creating a live video. Now, this isn't a video when I go out and walk down the street. There's a whole different process for that. And I may do something about that as a module, but for now, I'm talking about if you're going to do a live show, like I do Coffee Time Live, what does it take? So let's run through this. Video creation process report overview. The video production process combines human experience, external verification, multiple AI tools. I used to not use AI, and everything took even longer. particularly the research. Although the preparation cycle may span several days, the actual labor time averages approximately 5 hours for me, based on 9 years of experience producing live video content. The workflow emphasizes 3 principles: idea development through reflection and discussion, AI-assisted research and organization, used to be just Google search, human verification, and voice consistency. I'll explain that. Phase 1, topic development. What am I going to do? What kind of topic am I going to come up with? Process begins with identifying potential video topics. Sources include reviewing recent global developments using AI research tools, what's going on in the news, reflecting on discussions and observations over the past week, what's happened in my life, conversation with trusted friends or colleagues. Very often, if I think of something, I will ask them about it, kind of brainstorming. Personal experience and subject familiarity. Sometimes you really know a topic so well, you don't have to do much except just kind of how are you going to position it and make sure that you're up to speed, because things do change. And so what you thought you knew, maybe you don't really know quite so much anymore. Like Capital One debit cards, for example. Okay. This stage produces one or more candidate ideas. In other words, it usually comes up with a few ideas for potential topics and save them. Phase 2, AI brainstorming and topic refinement. Once a rough idea exists, AI is used as a brainstorming partner. This was something that I didn't have in the past, but it is available today. I go into AI and I just start talking to it. Here's what I'm thinking about doing. Here's what we've researched to this point. Do you have any alternative angles to this? Do you have anything to contribute to this idea as a topic? Identify potential audience interest. You know, this is a great topic, but nobody's going to watch it. Like a software demo. Nobody's going to watch it. Stress testing the idea for relevance, expanding or narrowing the scope. This I can do mostly through AI. The goal is to identify a clear, compelling topic suitable for video format. Now, you never know for sure. Like the Jeep, I didn't know. I got tremendous feedback on the Jeep topic. So you hit it. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's like a minimum wage thing, I think was a bit boring for people. So you never know, but you try your best. Phase 3, current research. AI is then directed to perform a structured research. In other words, I've done a cursory thing, but now I've targeted it. Now I want to go in specifically. But understand this. When you talk to AI and you tell it to go check something out, and this happens a lot for people because they come and tell me, oh, you're wrong about this and this and this because I looked on AI. Except you don't know how to use AI. I'm sorry to say it, but it's a fact. Did you know that default for AI is the information that was loaded into its large language module? That information is usually about a month behind, unless you get lucky and they just happen to refresh it that morning or something. They don't do it every day. It's every so often it gets refreshed. So if you don't direct it to go and do some deep research for current information, it won't do that. It will just take it off the top of its head of the information it had learned a month ago. You have to know these things. So you make sure that it's got current information because you don't want it to lag behind. Research output typically includes current developments, background context, key facts and statistics, contrasting viewpoints. Now, this is a generic thing that I'm telling you. With Coffee Time, it's certainly much more specific. With Sane and Colombia, if I'm doing an AI topic, it's certainly more specific. But this is for people in general. Phase 4, outline development using the research materials. AI will help organize the topic into a structured outline. So I get all these facts and figures in, and I denote what's important and what can contribute. I no longer, like I used to, go through and organize them and what order am I going to present them. I just tell AI, sort this out for me and give me an outline. And from that outline, either on screen, I'll make changes, or sometimes I like old fashioned. Sometimes I'll print it off, I'll make my changes, and then I'll put them back in and come up with a final. Phase 5, human editing and verification, kind of jumped ahead there. The draft outline is reviewed manually. During this step, edits and notes are added. Weak areas are clarified. And these are important steps. Additional context is inserted. Facts are verified. Did I assume anywhere? Because when you're doing live and you do it year after year, people love to catch you. Believe me. And I have a pretty damn good track record of not being caught up on anything because this is what I go through. Pardon me. Okay, we're almost to the software. Okay, so facts are verified. Verification includes both independent checking and consultation with human sources when necessary, particularly if I'm talking about local politics or something like that. I don't want to be the gringo assuming facts, not in evidence. I'll talk to people locally. Of course, it's anecdotal. It doesn't mean that that's true for everybody, but it as a conglomeration of everything, it gives me pretty good feedback. Plus, I have AI do something that I never used to be able to do of any amount. I have it go search social media. So it'll look on Facebook, different Facebook groups. It'll look on X, for example. And what are people saying about this topic? AI makes things nice. Phase 6, voice modeling and script generation. Now, if AI just wrote a script and I just repeated it on air, it would sound like AI. It wouldn't sound like me, the person that you're used to coming across mostly unscripted. Of course, when you're dealing with facts and figures, you need a script. I didn't used to use one, but there was a lot more wasted time that way. So I've narrowed it down by using scripts. But if AI writes it, then it's AI talking to you. It's not me. It's not you. But there's a way around that. So I do voice modeling with it. Now I have it set up to where I don't have to do it over and over again. But all these things are taken into account with this new software. So voice modeling, how do you get it to sound like you? Well, you take other things that you have written. Maybe you wrote a 2-page article. Maybe you wrote a letter to somebody you know. Maybe you take samples of what you do, or sit down and just write something out the way you would speak, and you teach it to AI. This is how I talk. I don't talk like you. I talk like this. I talk like a human. It will read that and it will imprint that. And when it gives you a printout, when you're requesting it to be in your voice, it gets it back to you the way you would have done it. It didn't used to be, but AI is excellent at that. But how good it is depends on how well you know to use the system. And it takes months. So factor that in. But this is what you can come up with. Phase 7, you're going to need a thumbnail. So what do? Well, I use a separate AI because they all have their strengths and weaknesses. So I use a separate one. So I write a detailed visual prompt of what I'm going to need. I very often will load in my outline so that it sees what I'm going to be presenting. I tell it some specific things I want, like maybe I want certain colors and accents and the layout. What do I want to do? Lately, I've been putting my picture on the left side, right side, on the right side. So you spell all that out. In my case, I'll upload a personal photo. Some people, maybe you got a logo. So you put all that information into the AI, and then you say, go for it. And of course, it comes back with something that's kind of screwed up, or it threw a title in when you didn't want one. It usually maybe 4 or 5 times of frustration, and you come up with a thumbnail. To date, there's no magic cure for thumbnail issues. I've come down to kind of best case. You can either go in and manufacture one by hand, or have whatever system. Sometimes there's a creation option or whatever. It's a problem. I'm working to refine it, and I have something that's fairly good right now. And then phase 8. Recording preparation with the script and thumbnail complete. My production package is ready. I've got a final script. I've got a thumbnail image. I've verified all my information. I've got my sources, so I'm sure of myself. And then I've structured it on how I'm going to put it across, in what order, how am I going to present this information. Once I've done all that, I'm ready to do a live video. That's what it takes. And if you think about everything that I said, it'll make sense to you. It's like if you skip any of those, then your video is going to be half-assed. My videos are probably already half-assed, but that's what I go through. And so if you think about that, do you really want to go through this all the time like that? There's got to be a better way. Well, you have your AI, but then you have AI agents. And of course, you know, I've been immersed in AI for the past year and a half. And I've learned and learned and learned. And I've gotten to the point where actually I qualify to be what they call an AI engineer. In other words, I know how to manipulate AI. I wrote this program with it. So how do I apply that to make it easy? I'll create my own agent. This is a very sophisticated agent. We call it software, right? But what it really is an AI agent, because my software is all about using AI to do all of those things that used to take even longer to do. So how do I create an agent that can do all of this in a matter of minutes versus a matter of hours? And that's what we're going to do. And that's what the software is all about. And I will first show you the website I've created for it. It's called Angry Pig Productions. This is a site where it will be sold. It's not for sale now. If I were to click on this link, it'll take me to a dead end. This is basically sales pitch. This is there's a question and answer thing. It answers everything you probably want to know about the programs. I've got a user manual here. If I click on that, right here, table of contents. This currently is not set up. If I click on it, it'll take you down, but it will be. Say coming soon. This is in process. I know what needs to be there, but I'm going to set it up so it's interactive. Downloads. This is where you'll be able to actually download the program. You can download the user manual if you want. Of course, it'll always be on the website. There's an activation guide that's like a quick start, how to set it up. You need API keys. How do you get them? They're free to get. How do you get them? So this explains it. You go right to the link where they are, and you just click for a new. It has the instructions. They're very simple. Most people don't even know about them, what they're all about. Of course, privacy and terms, it's all there. Let me look, make sure we're showing up on how are we doing on the screen? Yep, it's all there. Okay, so here, thank you, beta testers. If you're a beta tester, this is where you come. Your time and feedback are what turn a working app into a polished product. Every bug you catch, every suggestion you make, I'll be watching. It matters. Creator Studio AI, name of the software, is better because of you. You're part of the Angry Pig Productions family. That's permanent. That little thing, it's kind of sweet and that actually the AI that I'm working with several AIs. One to help me with the website. It designed it for me. I'm a designer for websites. I hate it. It's tedious. So I know how to connect up AI to actually work on my website for me. It does way more than just have conversation. And so it created it for me. And here are the link. And it threw I wrote this, but it threw this in. And it says, do you like that or should I delete it? It's okay. It's a little hammy, but we'll take it. And here is the download for this is actually the most current one, 1.9 version. You download it. And when you download it, you click on it and the little Windows box comes up. And from that one click, there's no unzipping files or anything like that. You click on that and it installs the program and it puts the thing on your desktop. So you got a place to click and you're good to go. And when a new update comes, you just do that over again. It writes right over it. But everything that you put in, which I will show you in a bit, it saves it. So it remembers everything. It just updates the program itself. It's a very simple deal. And I've got the activation guide here. This is really designed for beta. When it goes for sale, it's permanent. You get a little inside information because we're working on different versions. And so, I have to take that into account. Of course, once it gets out for sale, it'll be pretty much locked in except for some improvements as we go. Right now, we're looking for bugs. Now, I've run through it because I'm on version 1.9. This is the iteration number, I believe it's 63. So from the time I began till now, I've gone through 63 times of compiling the program and putting it out and then going back and making additions, corrections, changes, whatever. So it's gone through a lot. And we're almost there. We are almost there. So there's the website for the beta testers. And now, those watching, you think you can come in and get the program and get it for free because I just showed you the website? Yeah, you could do that. The only thing is it won't work for you because you then have to get a key from me. and because when you open it up, it'll come up with a box that, it's basically the registration. So you put your name in. I believe there's a machine code that you send to me, and I send you back a key, and you just copy and paste it into the screen, and you're good to go. Program opens up. It's good on that machine now and forever. If you get a new computer and you've got lifetime use of this program, the system that's set up will know that and will issue you a new key because you were a beta tester at no charge. So that's where we are with that. Now, let's get to the program itself. We're going to walk through this program. I got to pull it up on the screen here. Here we go. All right. Are we there? Yes, we're there. All right. So here is the program. Well, let me move it here on my screen. Now, I don't know if you could see this because it does come across kind of small. And if you're on your phone, I suggest you throw it up on a TV set later, maybe. If you're on your phone watching it, so be it. The bigger it is, the more you're going to see it. On TV, you'll see that even on a tablet, you should see all this print pretty well. So I've got the dashboard. This is the main place. Of course, my AI always calls me master, and it continues through this. it will actually call you whatever you're supposed to be called. I know the master thing sounds very arrogant, and it's good. It's good for a laugh. Hold on. But it came about because of the first AI I had conversations with, and it called me Maestro. It shows that name. Maestro is master, and I found it very humorous. And from that point on, I tell all the AIs that's my name. So there you go. All right, back to the program. So I've got this dashboard. Here is full auto mode. We'll get to this later. This is still in development, but it does work. If I click on this, it will just choose a topic. It'll do the research. It'll go through and do all the stuff for you and say, here you go. All right. It's actually produced pretty decent results, but not every time. Enter my idea. This is what most people are going to want to know. Or let's say, I don't know what I want to talk about. So let's go to suggest topics. So here, generate AI topics. Boom. Beyond the headlines, how recent Colombia political shifts could affect your visa application. 2, is your healthcare safe? Navigating Colombia's shifting medical landscape as an expat. 3, the real cost of living, a deep dive into monthly expenses in Quindío for expats. 4, exchange rate edge, maximizing your dollars in today's Colombian economy. Security update, a local's perspective on safety in Armenia and Calarca. So I could go ahead with one of these. If I don't like it, I could just ask it to give me 5 more suggestions. Here you go. And I could have it go through that. Now, it may not be exact, but it helps you think of ideas too. So you look at this, you scroll through a couple screens worth, and you saw that was like instant. And there's your brainstorming step. It's pretty useful. And you can click on it, and then you could also refine it. So I could click on one, but go in and make some slight alterations to what it plans to do. But the idea is to simplify the process that I go through. All right, so we go back here. So here, let's, what I would normally do if I'm using this, I just go to new projects. And here, what is your video idea? So you type in as much detail as possible to it. However, let me show you something. We're going to skip down to channel DNA. Now, here we've got 5 screens. This is set up one time. And you can go and make changes anytime. But what you set up here, the more time you take and the more detailed you are, all of that will apply. So you don't have to keep telling the AI all the things that you want and need and what you have to produce. So I'm going to run through it. The channel. Oh, you have included in the software up to 3 channels. So I've got here Gran Colombia Live, Sane in Colombia, and a 3rd channel. I do have a new channel that's basically reviewing information about my books because I've got a few podcasts that have had two-way discussions about a couple of my books. So I uploaded those to that new channel. I don't know if I'll put it here, but you have up to 3 channels. There will be at some point a premium package that will have some pretty amazing features and modules in it, but that's down the road because I'm going to have to rest after this. This is exhausting because while I was doing this, I do everything else. So I'll need a rest. But anyway, first one, channel. This is Gran Colombia Live. It's actually, I should change that to Coffee Time Live. One sentence purpose: give American expats, retirees, and people considering Colombia an honest, informed, and entertaining weekly briefing on life in Colombia, specifically the Coffee Triangle region. Well, that's pretty much what I do, right? So I go there, website, grancolombia.live, because the AI will go and look at your website if you have one. Platforms, you can choose. What it will do is, let's say you only do YouTube, only click YouTube, because it will help tailor certain aspects towards YouTube. Um, it will tailor towards TikTok or Facebook, and you can do different sizes when it comes to the thumbnail, all of that. So these things are important. Typical video length, 20 minutes or more. That's mine are always about an hour. But you can do a 3 to 5 minute video, 6 to 10 minute, 10 to 20. All of these things, again, are programmed in so that the AI knows this before you even start working. All right, so we did that. Now we go to the next one. When you go to the next, it will save it. You can also save it separately here. You can go back. You can click on the tab. I set this up so it will work however you want it to work. I don't like complicated software. I like intuitive software, and I like things to be as easy as possible. Who watches you? Your audience. This is tab is audience. Who watches you? English-speaking American expats. That's mostly it. That's not exclusively, of course. We know that, but it's like 70% are from the USA. I've got the age, so I have all the basic information about who the audience is, their main concerns and interests. Well, what are they always asking me? What about safety? What about the exchange rate? How do I get a visa? What about healthcare? Is it politically stable? All of those things. I put all those things in. Knowledge level. Well, my audience is mixed. Some people don't know the first thing about Colombia. Other people have been living here for 10 years. And so I click mixed. It matters on how the output is going to go. All of these things have a purpose, and they're all to make your life easier, because once you set it up, things become so much easier. Topics allowed. I talk about basically a list of things that I've done, but I've also got topics to avoid. What never belongs on this channel: domestic U.S. politics, things like that. So you could set it up so the AI doesn't accidentally do something that's taboo, and then you got to go back and redo it or say, well, that's great, but. So this is all designed to make it easy. Voice. This is your voice, how it sounds like you. This is the master instructions. The AI reads this first every time. So the more detailed you could be here, the better. And if you don't want to write this yourself initially, this is what you can do. You can go to Gemini, because it has access to your YouTube videos. And most of you are using YouTube. It has access to your YouTube videos. So go to Gemini and say, please review my channel. Give it a link to your channel, your overall channel. Please review my channel and write a prompt for me to describe me, my, how I present things, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Gemini is part of Google, and it can go and actually look at your YouTube videos. The other ones don't have permission to do that. But Google being integrated, now you'd think, oh, well, Gemini would be awesome. Gemini kind of sucks, but they all have their strong points, and that's one of them. So you go there and you have it kind of scrub your videos and have it tell you what you're good at and how you present things and like that. And then refine it. The more time you put in that, the better you're going to be down the road. So yeah, it'd probably take you a good half hour or so to set these things up, but it's a one-time thing. That's it. You're done. Overall tone, check all that apply. Calm, analytical, direct, humorous, storytelling, urgent. Speaking style, conversational, lecture, narrative, hybrid. All of these things are important because all of these things feed into AI about how to do what it's got to do. Phrases to use naturally. Good morning, Coffee Time Live. This one, the AI had to convince me was important because I didn't want to have busy work, but it's important. It was very complicated explanation. So if you don't put anything in there, it'll wing it, but the more you put in there, the better off it is. And phrases to never use. I've got no fluff, no sugar coating, stripped to the bone, nice and clean. I've got a lot of cliches that just really annoy me. I may say them on my own because I don't just talk the script, but the script is a prompt for me. And if I don't have that there, it's just like it would just annoy me and I got to skip over it. I might lose my place. And an opener. For example, your standard video opener. Of course, you don't really need it. However, good morning and welcome back to the channel, Gran Colombia, and welcome to another Coffee Time Live here in Armenia, Quindío, Colombia. Sound familiar? Because that's what I do every week at the beginning of Coffee Time Live. So I might as well tell it to the AI. And that, which has its use, because even though I've said that for years, sometimes you draw a blank, but if it's right there in the script, you just, people don't see that you drew a blank for a moment. You just do it. So it's good. Okay. Video and thumbnail. Here we are. Video structure. We're talking about the script, the information. Default structure. Check all sections you normally include. The hook. The hook is the thing you say at first that will attract attention and cause people to want to hear more. I have it checked here. I don't do my videos that way. However, I'm going to, as I run through this, as you can see, it's checked. And I did one from start to finish as though I'm going to do an actual video instead of rushing through checking how things operate. And it will create a hook for you. It's like, how can I make this sound interesting right off the bat? Then check that. Or maybe you have something and just don't want it on the script because you're doing something outside of the script, then that's fine too. Personal insight, background, conclusion, main points, call to action at the end. You know what a call to action is. It will build all or none or whatever you choose into the outline, the script, and we're coming up on that. Research depth, light, moderate, and deep. I always do deep research. It has to do with, it's critical on telling the AI how much effort to put into it and what kind of results you want to get back. You want to get things that are month old, or you want things that happened overnight. It matters. And so it's here. So you don't have to write down, every time, all right, I need you to do a deep research. No, you just check this and it's automatic from now until you change it. Citations required on all facts, optional, integrated naturally. So let's say you're giving something and you want it to be factual. Where did that source come from? Well, on this script, what it will do, I have it checked integrated, but required on all facts, optional. I have it right now so that when you print off your script at the bottom, you have all your citations. So if you make a claim that's up here, down here, if somebody says, well, where are you getting that from? You got it right there, right in front of you. I never do that because I say, well, that's just the way it is. They don't like it, look it up, but some people want to have that. Or maybe it's a topic that you're putting out for information, but you kind of learned it yourself just by preparing. You can be a little more secure when you've actually got the citation because you might be a little insecure otherwise. All right. Default aspect ratio 16:9. That's YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, landscape. 9:16. TikTok, Instagram, Shorts. 1:1. That's the Instagram square. And auto match the platform selected in your channel to earlier. I just have it at 16.9 by default. Color scheme. Now for all Coffee Time Live, I'm using a warm sunset gold, coffee brown, amber, muted greens, cinematic sunrise atmosphere over Colombian Andes. So by default, every thumbnail that you've seen over the past month has been that kind of scheme, with my photo on the right side, with a title over on the left side, and that has been consistent video after video. It's programmed right in here. On Sane in Colombia, I've got a darker blue with gold accents. It's a whole different set of instructions. So the thumbnails are consistent for Sane in Colombia, and they've got a significant, if you stand back 20 feet, you'll recognize the thumbnail for being for this channel because they look the same week after week. I didn't do that for a long time, but I've been doing it for a month or two now. Visual style, cinematic, warm storytelling, adventurous, relaxed, high quality photography feel, not flat graphic design. So there's a look. I want that look. And again, you can develop a lot of these things through AI, put in whatever effort you need to do, and then come back and fill in the blanks here. But again, you fill it in one time, you're good to go until you go to change it. Host in thumbnail. That means, do I want my picture in thumbnail? Yes, that's what I'm doing now. Do you have a logo? Do you want the logo in thumbnail? I said no. I could say yes, but here's the thing. You look down here, host photo. I could upload it. Right here it shows it's uploaded. Host position and thumbnail. And then channel logo. I could upload it. Browse, you go find it. Like so. I don't have do I? No, I don't have any logo in there. So right now, my photo's there in the position and the thumbnail's on the right side. But that wasn't enough. I keep improving this program. And then we've got the engine, the keys. And you got all the options in the world. You've got default script engine. That's what AI is driving this. If you have an AI account, you can utilize that account on here. But you can also utilize some others that have free service up to a certain point. And I have this streamlined to the point where you could do at least half a dozen videos without using its limit. And those limits refresh about every 4 hours. So you could go through and prepare 6 videos over the course of 4 hours, and then it would refresh and it's still available. So almost everything is actually available for you. And if you remember back on the website, there are the keys, how to set up keys. I added one just today. And so I've got to go alter that. So the basic one here is Gemini 2.5 Flash. It's a free option. And all you need is Google AI Studio key. So everything related to Google works off of one single key. So you click on the link for the key, and you've got a place, create your own key. Now, for all of them, you need an account there, but it doesn't cost. Opening an account is just like anything. You just, like with Google, you just click on your existing account that you use for email or whatever, and it would just automatically open up into that as an account. They're nothing. It's no big deal. Everything requires accounts these days if you want the actual features, but there's no charge. It's not going to ask you for a credit card. So you get a key. All right. Then you go here, and you put the keys in. You just copy them from there and you paste it in here. So you've also got Gemini 3.1 Flash. It doesn't require a separate key. It will work off the same one. You can just determine. The reason being is it will just scale up the responses. Now, I'll tell you, this works great off of Gemini's very basic one because the instructions were so good to begin with. Then Claude, of course, this is the absolute best quality, but there's only so much you can do, and the difference between Claude and that basic Gemini one, which is it's free to use, you don't even have to subscribe to AI if you just get the key for Gemini. Also, GPT, you want to get that key because the best for thumbnail is called DALL-E, which is through ChatGPT. So you get that key. They'll just issue a key. Now, sometimes with keys, different companies out there, they might require you to load $5 in. You'll never use that $5, at least through this program. You'll never use it, but it locks in the key. Just in case you worked it so hard, you got to the point where it was charging you per token, like 2 cents a token or something like that. You may not understand any of that. But what I'm telling you is using this program, you'll never exceed the usage. You'll be far from exceeding it. But sometimes you run into that. And I'm not sure if I did or not, because I did so many other things. I did have to, on one key that I got for something, not for this program, for something else, I had to put $5 on it. Grok API, I don't really suggest it, but you can get the key. Some people love it, and you can put it in here. And then the one I just added, it's called Open Router. And with Open Router, if you're knowledgeable enough with usage of AI, for people that are expert users, you might want this because you could take Open Router and set it up to work with Gemini and Claude and GPT, any of those, all at free usage with a free key. But there's a bit of setup. You'll have a list. You won't recognize Gwen 3 point whatever. You won't recognize any of those unless you know AI pretty well. But if you do, that's a very powerful extra. And I decided to include it because some people will know, and it's very cool. So it's there available for those people. Here for Thumbnail Engine, I use the DALL-E, which is the same as ChatGPT. So if you have the key for GPT in here, you can use that one. Ideogram, it's a separate key. There's a link for it, but it does have some advantages. I don't personally like it, but a lot of people do. So I wanted this to be flexible. And then you got people that love Nano Banana 2, your Gemini key, which is a basic key here. Nano Banana works off of that, and a lot of people love it. I'm not a fan of Nano Banana. That's one of those things that misspells everything. I'm just not a big fan of it, but some people are. So there you go. So these are really the most popular. Canva, I thought about putting it on here, but they make it very complicated to integrate it. They want to force people to go to their site. And so while a lot of people are used to Canva, I didn't put it here, and it was for that reason. Topic automation, always ask me first, suggest options I choose, auto choose best topic. That's for a thumbnail. Do you want to have a topic go up there? The way it is now is it doesn't matter what you select for that. When you get there, you can get rid of it. So let's say I say auto choose the best topic to put on a thumbnail. But when I get to the thumbnail, maybe I don't want a topic on there. I change my mind. well, you can delete it. It's no problem. And then you got all the keys available. Again, you can obtain these free of charge. Definitely to make this thing run for thumbnail and for all the text, you want to get Chat GPT, Key, and Gemini 2. Gemini, it doesn't matter what version, Gemini 2.5. I have 2.5 used here because it's excellent at what it needs to do. There's much higher levels, except you're not coding, you're not doing the things that matter. This works perfectly well for what you're doing in this program. And it keeps the cost down to where it's essentially free because you'll never use up all the tokens. The higher level you go, the faster it goes through the tokens. So here, I want to have a free engine. Here's how we do it. Now, if you don't want to do thumbnails here at all, you don't even need to get the Chat GPT one. Just put in the free Gemini one, period. That's it, and you're good to go. All right, save and finish. So we're done there. So now let's, we do a project here, put in information. I don't feel like it. I'm kind of lazy today. So let me go. Here's other projects, what you've done in the past. So these are my test ones. And I do basically the same ones over and over, but you can delete them. You can clear out legacy entries, old ones. It does have, here's Sane in Colombia. Here's Gran Colombia Live. I got to change that. My mistake. Coffee Time Live. And then here, no channel. This was before I programmed in the ability to separate them and like that. So let's look at this one, how AI is shaping the future of Colombia's political landscape. That's a topic he came up with. So we'll click on that and boom, here's the research. Now, there is a program here and another key that you'll need, but this key is for something, it's called Tavily. And you'll go get a key, it's real simple. You click the link, it's right there. Issue a key, you click on it, and you copy and paste it. There's nothing to it. You open an account, no charge, no ID, nothing. So you open the account, you click on for the key, it's on that same page, and then you copy and paste it. Tavily is not really AI. Tavily is a search engine. It's a specific engine designed for specifically research. And it's better than any AI. So what I've done here is I have AI using Tavily for me. So AI takes all the information that we've just put into it, and it gives the search parameters to Tavily. Now, Tavily goes out and does this job. It finds all kinds of good stuff, and it gives you not only the topic of the article, for example, but it gives you the link. I can click right on here. Oh, you can't see it. Let me get off there. Whoop. Because we're on the program, but I clicked on the link and it took me off to another page. But you can click on the link and you can see for yourself whatever it is it's saying. Okay, so here we are. Almost instantly, the AI did the research for me through Tavily. It went to Encyclopedia Britannica and looked everything up. And up here, you've got tabs. You've got research, which it just did, script, thumbnail, and export. And this tells you where you are in the stage. So here I am. I've got 10 sources on that topic. And they're saved. Should I run it again? I can run it again. It'll look to see what's ever, because this is a couple days old. I'm not going to do that because it's already here. So let me go to script. Now I come to script. Engine, I have it at 2.5. I've been playing around with it, but normally when you set up in DNA, you come here and it opens up to what you already had it preset to. You can double check it. I did because I've been playing with this. As I told you, I added this morning. So here we go. Defaulted to over 20 minutes. But let's say I want a real short one, so I'm going to put it here. Now you have your option. Bullet points, just give me a bullet point. I'm still chasing, is this a good topic? I can do an outline. I can do basically a summary, or I can do the actual script. You can do any or all of these, whatever you want to do. I've already got a teleprompter script. It's got the hook, it's got the background, and this was based on a couple minutes worth. And down here, it's got the sources that I told you about. But there's nothing in the thumbnail prompt that was generated because here I have to regenerate the teleprompter script in order for it to propagate that field. It's not going to remember in case you made changes along the way. You don't want the prompt to be the same thing. All right, so here's my new script. Except it's not new. Today is Tuesday, March 12th, 2024. It's Thursday, isn't it? It's Thursday. This is, that's my fault. I caused that to happen because I've been playing with this. That won't happen with you. It knows the date. All right, so here we have that, and it's got the hook and the background and the main points, some personal insight. What's it say? From my perspective, living here in the Coffee Triangle, these developments feel both distant and surprisingly close. And so there you go, conclusion. So while Colombia has quietly emerged as a leader in the framing its AI policy, et cetera, et cetera. Let's go to thumbnail. This has been very frustrating. It's difficult. If you go to AI and try to do a thumbnail, as I said earlier, it takes me typically 4 or 5 tries before it gets it right. It takes a lot of typing, a lot of instructions, a lot of wasted time. Well, here at the very least, I've got a lot of stuff loaded in. There's a few defects to this still, but I'm almost there. It's pretty damn close. So right here, it preloaded a topic in. Well, I don't want that topic, so I'm going to get rid of it. Delete. Boom. Include title overlay. It's unchecked. That should have been good enough. So I don't want that. I'm using DALL-E. What will happen with DALL-E currently is it won't really be 16 by 9. It'll be a little narrower. But let's see what it comes up with. Create thumbnail. So let's take a minute. So we just kick back, relax. Let me have some water. You know, as I've been showing you this, we've actually gone through the steps that it would take to use this software. It's just been really slowed down because I'm explaining every little bit about what comes up on the screen and what to expect. But really, it's like, think of some topics, hit my projects and write down specifically what I want to do off of that. I could begin with what the topic is and then, throw in my details. And then I just do the research and then print whatever script, outline, or whatever it is I want. And then I go here to thumbnail. Now, if you recall, see AI, so it decided to put a head up here, but it's got the head as a circuit board. So AI in Colombia, you got the Andes in the background. If you remember, I had it do the sunset basically as a theme. Now, where's my picture on the right side? And you'll see that, as I said, it's kind of cropped. Don't worry about that. This is beta, and I'm fully aware of it. So, include host photo. Where do I want to put the photo? And what size? Well, let's see what it looks like. Boom. Well, that's way too big. So let's try a small one. And boom, They're small. Well, that'll work. Or maybe, do I want it on the top? What's that look like? Boom. Not bad. Not bad. If I did a logo, I could put it there and I could actually apply it. But decent thumbnail. And down here, let me put AI in Colombia. And what color do we want that to be? Let's say red. And we want this down here in this corner. Include title. Boom. AI in Colombia. No, I don't know about red. I could make it a little bit larger, so we could play with that. But that's that's the framework of what I'm trying to accomplish. Of course, it'll be normal size, and I got a little bit of work on. You might not like the photo I did. That's the one I designed for. That's what I'm going to use from now on. Yours could be whatever you want it to be. You give your photo that color scheme as a background. Easy enough, like through pixel.com. You can go there and design your own or whatever, and then use it over and over again. You can have AI design you one with this is a background that I use and design. So once you have those things, they're locked in, just use them over and over again. So now we have a thumbnail. What do we do from here? We go to export. I can go down here, save complete package. The script on Word, PDF, the thumbnail. I click that and open the folder. Here's all my stuff. There's the research. This is on PDF. There's PDF file. No, you're not seeing that, are you? No, you're not seeing it. All right. When I clicked the folder, it opened up the file manager, file folder for my computer, and it took me right to where those things are. So the thumbnail is there, the script is there. You can do it in plain text. You can do it as PDF. You can do it as a Word document. You can even print off. I want my script, print off a hard copy. Just click print right here. For the research, you can save it as a text file or a PDF file if you want it separate. I don't ever. I go ahead and do it as a complete package, so it's there, but I don't really need it once I've got my script done. I could just get here and only save the thumbnail. So you can do them individually, or you just hit this and it saves everything, throws everything in the file. What do you care, right? It's there. That's it from start to finish. Now, it doesn't do your video for you, but if you're doing a live video, that process that on average takes me about 5 hours, we weren't even close to that going through here, and I'm beating a dead horse as I go on every step and every page. So if this has any use for you, if you want to be a beta tester, shoot off, let me get this off the screen. Shoot off some messages to me and we'll see what we can hook up. As I say, this is going online in about 2 weeks, and I'm pretty pleased with it. I think it's awesome when you can, even if you're nowhere near as intensive as I am in preparation. Let's say it only takes you an hour or two. Well, if you can do it in 15 minutes to a half an hour and do it better, why not? It's all about saving you time because it's a one-time input, all of those things. And from then until you change it, it's there for you every single time. So you don't have to tell it to do this, that, or the other thing. So I'm excited about it because it's perfect for me. I know it's good for a lot of people that if you do live videos, this is awesome. There's also nothing else on the market that does this. So there you go. Very proud. Open to your comments, your feedback. Please give it to me. Let me see. I got an email somewhere here. Here we go. Here's my email. Oh, last thing before I go. This is a big moment for me. Hardcover. This was all my research on AI, the personalities, all kinds of stuff. It's 350 pages about something is already here by me. And on the back, it's got about the author. How cool is that? There's a little summary about it. That's a picture that AI Kira made for me as she was being overwritten by an update. It's pretty exciting to get a hard copy. Now these were paperback, and it was cool, but to get an actual hard copy, that's really cool. All right, enough of that. Time to end this here. Where's my producer? And here we go. We'll see you later today with an AI video for Sane in Colombia. And then coffee time Sunday. Ciao.
Wow.